What's going up, all you Marvel heads out there? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of In the Marbles. And if this is your first time joining us, well, it's not a better time to join us. We have Owen Smith on, ARCA driver, and we got a lot of other stuff to get around to as well. But first, before we get to all of that, how about we introduce you to somebody else, the co-host here at In the Marbles, Matt Beamer.
What's going on, Preston?
What's going on, man?
Doing double duty now. Ian couldn't make it.
Yeah,
and now I'm back and forth into producer seat, man.
Yeah.
But,
how does it feel to be back in it?
It feels good. I'm just, you're going to see me now. We're back on YouTube.
Yes.
Finally back on YouTube and finally getting used to everything and got the computer up and running. It took 3 weeks longer than it should have, but it's back on. Everything's good though. Finally back into it, man.
Yeah. Did you have a good weekend?
I did. It was, I worked Saturday. My dad actually came by yesterday. He's taking a motorcycle trip. So what he's doing is, instead of going clockwise, he came counterclockwise so he could come see the new house and see myself and Caroline. And it's good seeing him. I haven't seen him in about a couple months since we went to Alabama.
How's he doing?
He's doing well. He's just going on a motorcycle trip and doing that. A lot of fun. Wish him the best. And he's going to meet up with my Uncle John up there in North Carolina, and they're going to go riding around camping and stuff. But, yeah, man, it's all good, man.
Man, that sounds like a great time.
Now we finally got YouTube up and running. I'm so happy and grateful that I did that. A special shout-out to Nick, one of our friends there at the firehouse, who helped me out through it. He's a big computer guy. And helped us out. But how you doing, man? You finally got the baby home?
Yes, things are good. Baby finally got to come home, so transitioning into a 2-kid lifestyle now.
How's that going?
Very busy.
Very busy, huh?
Yeah, I'm telling you, we got to bring her home last Thursday afternoon, and my life has felt like it's been pretty much nonstop. It's been very busy. Just like, making sure that she's okay. Like, I'm always like looking at her just to make sure she's okay.
Right.
And like, she has to eat every 3 to 4 hours, so we're up in the middle of the night. I try to get up as much as I can with the wife.
Yeah, make sure to do it, or you don't want to know how to score some points. Say, hey, honey, I got this. Go back to bed.
Yeah.
You should do that because you're up at 3 o'clock anyway. You say might as well just take.
No, actually, it's weird. I've felt very tired lately.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like tired all the time.
Wow.
I wouldn't say I'm up at 3 o'clock. I mean, yeah, I'm up at 3 o'clock now because we're like waking up all the time. But like, it's funny. I'll be up in the middle of the night and I'll just be like staring at that baby. I'm just like looking at her. I'm like, I thought I heard something, and I'm just looking and I'll look, and as soon as I lay down and close my eyes, she'll make another noise, and I'm just like, is everything okay?
Right.
But like I said, I felt tired in general. Between this and still ongoing heart issue deal, which contributes to making me tired. I just it feels like my life just doesn't stop. It's just exhausting the entire time. So
well, thank you for being here. Like you said, man, we got a good show in store today. We got Owen Smith coming on, ARCA driver, reached out to us. One of the first of, I hope, many drivers to reach out to us, but looking forward to hearing what his story is through ARCA racing, and looking forward to get to know him more. ARCA Series going to Bristol this weekend, and curious to see how he's looking to tackle that. But great show coming up, and can't wait, man. You want to just go ahead and hit into the news?
Yeah, let's hit the ground running.
All right, auto racing news. I've only found 2 articles that we consider news, and a lot of this stuff, and unfortunately with us, man, we do the show, and then it seems like the big stories come out when the episode drops. When we're done recording, it seems like the episode drops.
You know what's funny about that is when you bring that up, I was thinking about that just the other day. I was like, man, every time we drop an episode, we always, we do the episode when we're able to because we have to work around schedules.
Right.
But then when it comes out a couple of days later, that's when the big news comes out.
It seems like all the time that happens.
Yeah.
Like the news will hit, or we'll do our episode, and then the big news stories happen.
And then we're like way behind.
And it isn't like we do this for a living yet.
No.
It isn't like anything like that. It's like we got to go to work. We got to take care of our families. And then when news hits, we can't just say, oh, come over and we'll do a quick YouTube episode or a quick podcast and talk about it. And it's funny how that happens. So I feel like we're somewhat behind the power curve at that point.
Well, I like to think of it as like when that does happen, I feel like there are some people out there that will say, oh, they weren't quick to get the news. But then again, some people will be like, oh, you know what? That's cool. I know that they're behind, but I'm going to listen to next week's episode because I'll be curious to see what they have to say about it.
That's right. I like that.
Whenever I see news, I try to share it to our social media pages when we can.
Right.
But I like to think of it as like that. I like to think people are like, oh, I'll tune in next week's episode. We'll see what they have to say because I think a lot of people know that podcasts tend to record and then release at a later date. So like everybody knows that there's kind of like a
delay. Let's say delay.
A delay. Yeah, a delay. I almost said lag, but like that wouldn't be right.
No, lag doesn't make sense. But hey, first piece of news I have: Bubba Wallace will not return to Richard Petty Motorsports in 2021. This is no surprise. We've been talking about this for a while. Silly season coming up. Bubba Wallace, will he or will he not return to Richard Petty Motorsports? Where do you think he's going to go? I think a lot of people are saying Chip Ganassi Racing. That's
the rumors I'm hearing too.
And he's been in talks with him. I haven't seen anything about him being in talks with Hendrick or JTG. But I think it's one. I think it's most likely going to be taking over for Matt Kenseth.
Yeah, I heard it was going to be. Some people were saying the rumors of the 42 car, and then I saw a lot of rumors that talked about, it could be a Denny Hamlin back team.
It could be, but I haven't seen much about that Denny Hamlin back team. And the only time I've seen about that is him teaming up with Michael Jordan, which those, I think, rumors got canked by sources for Michael Jordan. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be an established team like Chip Ganassi who's going to do it. Hamlin will be a good team owner, kind of like Tony Stewart, but I don't think he's there yet in his career. I think have him win this year's championship and he might be more established.
I just don't Hendrick Motorsports. I don't see them going after.
I don't see it either.
I think they already have what they need, or they're established guys, or whatever you want to call them. Maybe it could be a good fit for him to go to the 42. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. I'm looking forward to seeing where he'll end up because he's got a lot of sponsorship money behind him. I think maybe him going to JTG will be good for that team, more so than a more established team like Chip Ganassi. But him and Kyle Busch, I think, will make a good formative duo here in 2021. Really do. Second piece of news I have, speaking of Hendrick, Jimmie Johnson is going to be running the Indy Car series in 2021 and 2022. I've seen headlines saying that, or reports saying that he's going to just run road courses.
Yeah, I've heard it was just part-time.
But I think this is going to be good for Indy because a lot of Jimmie Johnson fans who want to still see him race will go to the track and follow Indy just to watch Jimmie Johnson, see how he'll do. A lot of emphasis will be placed on IndyCar. How do you feel about that? I'm looking forward to it.
By all means, if he wants to go somewhere else and race, that's cool. I mean, that's awesome.
I think it's great for not only IndyCar, but Jimmie Johnson.
Yeah.
Now we get to see him do everything, and it stinks that he is in his final season in Cup, and he's not getting to do exactly what he wants to do. He's not getting the farewell I think he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, say, Richard Petty or Dale Jr. did, especially with all of his accomplishments in the Cup Series. But I think it's going to be fun to watch him race an IndyCar. I can't wait. I'm definitely going to be tuning in, as I think a lot of people are.
Yeah, like I said, we get a chance to see him race somewhere else,
right?
Totally different car,
totally different setup, and I think it's going to be so much fun.
I'm looking forward to it. I definitely will watch a little bit more IndyCar than just to see. I'm like I said, him racing in a different car. It would be cool to see. That's what I like about when some drivers think about making jumps to different types of racing. It's just cool to see what they can do with other equipment. So
right. And that's all the news I have. You have any news?
No, I think, did we touch last week about, we know that Sebastian Vettel in Formula One is going to go to racing. Well, it's not Racing Point after the season. It'll be Aston Martin Racing next year.
I think
Sergio Perez.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, Sergio Perez is, there's really been no news on what he's going to do. He's just opting out of that because he was still signed through next year with them. And then he just said there's no plan for him whatsoever. He hasn't said what he's going to do after that, but the rumors were that Sebastian Vettel was seen with Racing Point's Lawrence Stroll, and people were leading up. They were like, "Oh, he's coming there," and then people were like, "Oh, they're going to kick Lance Stroll out because Sergio Perez is still signed through next year." And
right.
Well, now Perez is kind of just stepping back, and Vettel's coming in. They're going to switch over to Aston Martin next year, and that's about that. So
yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see what happens with Perez. It's kind of a surprise that he left.
There's
But
still a lot of open seats, I believe, for
there are
different teams.
Haas has open seats.
Yeah.
Mercedes has an open seat. We don't know what's going to happen with Hamilton.
I think he's coming back.
Yeah, well, he's going to come back to silverware.
He just didn't. I don't know if Alfa Romeo's got any seats open at this time.
I don't know either.
So it's
But it'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to it. But if that's all the news we have, what we'll go ahead and do and get into a Formula One race from Mugello. A very interesting race, and we'll get right into that.